You cancel plans and feel relief before you feel guilt. You look at an invitation, a party, a dinner, a night out with friends you actually like, and something in your chest quietly sinks. Not because you dislike people, not because you're antisocial, but because somewhere between the couch and the front door, your body makes a decision your mind hasn't even finished thinking about. And here's the contradiction. The world tells you this means something's wrong with you, that you're isolating, that you're avoiding life. But what if staying home isn't retreat at all? What if it's the one place your nervous system finally gets to exhale? And if you've ever caught yourself doing this, let me know in the comments. You're probably not alone. This is Psychology Streamlined, where we untangle the hidden patterns of the human mind. So let's settle something first. You are not broken. You are not too much or too little of anything. Loving home isn't a character flaw. It's a nervous system that has found its safest room and refuses to apologize for staying in it. Your brain isn't failing you when it pulls you back toward familiar walls. It's protecting you. And that protection makes more sense than you've ever been told. Think about the last time you turned down plans just to sit in silence, maybe with a show playing you weren't really watching. That moment isn't laziness. It's regulation. Modern life bombards the nervous system constantly. Noise, notifications, decisions, small talk, performance. Home is one of the only places where none of that is required of you. Psychologists call this a form of nervous system downregulation, your body seeking a state where it doesn't have to scan for threat, impress anyone, or manage another person's energy. Think of how a phone quietly cools down once you stop touching it. Your body does the same thing behind your own front door. It's not that you can't handle the outside world. It's that home is where the handling finally stops. Now picture the version of you that grew up needing to read a room before entering it, sensing tension at the dinner table, adjusting your voice depending on who was around, learning early that unpredictability lived outside your bedroom door. For many people who love staying home, this isn't random. It's inherited environmental awareness. Psychologists sometimes link this to attachment patterns, how safe or unsafe connection felt in early life. If closeness once came with unpredictability, then solitude quietly became the safer form of intimacy. Home became less about escaping people and more about escaping the anxiety of not knowing what version of the world you'd get that day. It once protected a child who needed steadiness. Even now, that protection lingers, not because you're stuck in the past, but because the body remembers what kept it safe. There's also the matter of identity. So much of the outside world demands you to be a version of yourself, composed, social, on. At home, there's no audience, no performance, no small talk to manage. Just you, unedited. For people who feel emotionally exhausted by constant self-presentation, home becomes the only space where identity doesn't require maintenance. It's not withdrawal. It's authenticity without an audience. But here's the part nobody tells you. Loving home isn't always about avoiding the world. Sometimes it's about avoiding overstimulation from a world that was never built with sensitive nervous systems in mind. Bright lights, constant conversation, unpredictable social dynamics. These things cost energy differently for different brains. What looks like preference is often physiology. Your comfort at home might not be a personality quirk. It might be your body's most honest feedback about what actually feels sustainable. If psychology like this helps you understand yourself a little better, subscribe to Psychology Streamlined. There's always more beneath the surface. As you get older, this same behavior starts to mean something different. In your 20s, staying home might have felt like missing out, a quiet guilt humming under every declined invitation. But somewhere along the way, that guilt softens into clarity. The same behavior that once felt like hiding starts to feel like knowing yourself. Life stage changes the meaning entirely. What was once avoidance can become discernment, a refined sense of where your energy actually wants to go. The behavior doesn't disappear. It matures. It becomes less about escaping and more about choosing. And this is where the emotional core of it lives. Home regulates you in a way almost nothing else can. It's the blanket that doesn't ask questions. The anchor that doesn't move even when everything else does. Some people find grounding in adventure, new places, new faces, constant motion. Others find it in stillness, in a room that always looks the same, in the predictable creak of a familiar door. Neither is more evolved than the other. They're just different nervous systems finding different homes for their peace. When the world outside feels chaotic, and lately, it often does, home becomes the one variable you can control. Not because you're afraid of life, but because control itself is a form of emotional survival. It's the old friend who never requires small talk to feel close. I'm curious, when did you first notice this pattern in yourself? Sometimes naming it changes how we carry it. Maybe it was a specific night you turned down an invitation and felt nothing but relief. Maybe it was noticing that your best ideas, your calmest breathing, your most honest thoughts, they all seem to arrive within the same four walls. Whenever it started, it probably wasn't a decision. It was a slow, quiet recognition that this is where you function best. So if you're someone who feels most like yourself with the door closed and the outside world muted for a while, you're not avoiding life. You're choosing the version of it that doesn't cost you your peace. There's nothing to fix here. Nothing to push past. Just a nervous system that learned, somewhere along the way, exactly where it's safe to rest. And if this gave language to something you've felt for a long time, stay here with us at Psychology Streamlined. There's always more to understand.